Each year, scores of young women from impoverished corners of Eastern Europe are lured to the West for sham marriages. The bridegrooms are typically from Asian or African countries, living in the EU illegally or on short-term visas. The men want European brides so they can get the right to live and work in the EU. The women are told they'll get jobs and money, but often they're left with nothing, or worse still, forced into prostitution. A pre-dawn raid on a house in Rockdale near Manchester late last year led to the arrest of 13 people for their part in tricking a pregnant woman into visiting the UK and then selling her into a sham marriage. Sham marriage is a form of exploitation which feeds on rundown places in parts of Slovakia. This destitute settlement is home to around 250 people from the Roma community, Europe's poorest minority group. Klara Balagova was 18, penniless and heavily pregnant when she left this village for Britain to marry a man she'd never met. Her intended groom was a Pakistani man aged 23.
Mindig lebegedett kékbe. Azt mondta, hogy le lehet kiállni, mindig azt mondta. Megszűnte, meg haza is vitték az autóba. Elgyűjt étem, gyerekem után, meg én étem. Haza is vittük a gyereket, meg utána mellettem volt. Talán egy hetet voltunk, vagy egy évig ott. Nem sokáig voltunk mellettem. De nekem Magnyában 100 jobb volt.
És akkor mitől van itt ilyen?
Nem kérdés. Azt mondom, ne jó neki itt.
Balagova was never paid. She stayed in a shelter and returned to Slovakia 2 years ago with the help of social workers. But what makes a woman so vulnerable that she would leave home and marry someone she doesn't know in the first place?
Now, the victim doesn't want to do this, but feels they've got no way out. So they will go into the sham marriage thinking that they've got no choice. And actually, where people argue and say, no, I don't want to do this, that's where perhaps a trafficker will use other means of control. And that's where threats against themselves or their family back home are used. And that's a very powerful way of controlling somebody. If you think that your family back home, that the house is going to be set on fire or people are going to be attacked and injured, it's a massive means of controlling you. And people tend to go along with what the trafficker wants them to do.